Hey, it's me, Sleepo, and welcome back to another video. The GDC has caused a lot of controversy within the Dokkan community. And that is because, well, they're fuseless, okay? They have no limits 2.0. But one thing that I want to talk about is the tag mechanic, because that has been a topic of controversy for a few months by now. And I want to use this tweet as a catalyst for this conversation. I think these two were the worst way to debut the tag mechanic, because it became less about the mechanic and more stack until fuse and then win button. That's why I'm happy that the Blues and Samasu don't fuse. Now I've seen this take a lot, that the tag mechanic should just be about tag switching and these fusions have ruined the mechanic, but I just don't agree with it at all, and I want to tell you why. First of all, these two being the worst way to introduce the tag mechanic is bollocks, bro. They're hype as fuck, okay? I feel like there's a I think there's a benefit to showing the peak of the mechanic at release. In the 8th year, they have done this with the Z Boys. I mean, that is still one of the most peak standby characters. And I think it sets up like proper expectations for like, okay, this is gonna be the peak of this mechanic. And I don't think it's too bad, really. And I don't know. I think it's also not that accurate because, well, that we forget about these guys who were also launched, which was like a glimpse to show like, okay, this is what a normal tag switching unit is gonna be like. Obviously, not every unit is gonna be like the anniversary. That is, I think, people know that. Okay, people know that, and I think it's not too bad. Then we got this, which was also, it's a free to play unit, but they also didn't fuse, but that was okay. So we saw that they don't have to necessarily fuse. I think that the proper mistake here is that they keep using characters that fuse to not just fuse them. Like, I think that is the actual problem. Because if you want to use this tag switch mechanic for characters that don't fuse, and the focus is on them tag switching actually, well, then just use characters that don't fuse for that. Like, it's not that hard, really. I mean, did we forget how people were talking about the Golden Week and were like, yo, what about a God Goku and hit tag switch for the LR? Everybody was talking about that, okay? And people were hype about that idea. People also like Go Freezer. Like, it's not like people just want the people to these tag switch mechanics only if they fuse. No, it's just weird that they keep using characters that fuse to not make them fuse and just have them as tag switching characters, and especially characters that are not that hype on their own, because that's the problem. You know why there is not that much outrage about Goku Black and Zamasu? This is all about Vegito less. Okay? This is all about Vegito less. This is not about Zamasu less. A little bit, but it's just because of the crossfire. But the majority of the complaints are about Vegito not being like the fusion. Okay? Not being like at least a temporary fusion and only an active skill. The reason for that is, first of all, the Blue Boys, Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta, in of themselves are not that hype. Second of all, we got this exact unit 1.5 years ago. Or like 1.8 years, like nearly 2 years, okay? Nearly 2 years ago. And there it was also no limits because the Vegito condition was just ass. So yeah, that is why they're upset. If if they would have chosen a different character or like a different type of unit that would have not have a fusion, people would be more satisfied. I can tell you that. Maybe attack switching Vegeta and Trunks. I know that would have probably also gotten a bit of hate, but the thing is, how can you not expect hate or complaining after you hype up the GDC like that for months? They were saying like, oh, anniversary like campaign. It's gonna be anniversary level. And the thing is, we had the 10th anniversary, which in my opinion, best anniversary ever by far, hypest anniversary. If you hype up an anniversary like that, and that's what you debut with, the part 1 is just like their active skills, it's like, why are you cheaping out on us? Because this is objectively cheaping out. They're objectively giving us less by just making them an active skill. If they gave us a fusion on top of that, they would give us as much as they did in the 10th anniversary. The only reason we're expecting this is because they're hyping it up as a GDC, as an anniversary level campaign. And they've done this for the campaign. If you don't want this, then don't set up these expectations. Like, seriously, it's not that hard. And the thing is, people were already disappointed by it being a future saga. Was it like a disappointment after a disappointment? Okay, people were expecting Daima, no Daima, future saga, and it's like, okay, at least VB could carry this. No VB, like, sorry, but the future saga has been done to death, and it's just not as hype. That's why people are like complaining, and the reason people were complaining about Caulifla and Kale not fusing into Kefla, first of all, we have gotten Caulifla and Kale as units before. Let me get this up. Kale, Caulifla. We've gotten this twice before. As you can see, we got this first of all. Okay, so we got that unit, that exact unit we've gotten before. Then we have this unit, which is pretty much also that, but they fuse. And then we got this. Now, the difference between this and this unit is pretty apparent as well. Because if we go to the timeline here, and we go, I think it was, yeah, was it 6th year? No, it was not 6th year. Here we go. April 16th. These were the April Fool LRs. Or the April Fool LR, singular. The April Fool LR. And they ended up also being busted as fuck. Okay? That is why this unit is so fondly remembered, okay? Because it was, first of all, an April Fool's LR, which you don't expect anything from the April Fool's LR, okay? So the expectations are extremely low. Then they ended up being the most busted unit at the time. So that is why this unit is so fondly remembered. I can tell you that if this exact unit was the Golden Week LR of that year and had and was like top 10 LR, you know, top 10 LR, but nothing too crazy, people would have absolutely demolished this unit as well back then, okay? There's just context to this, okay? So we already got this unit, first of all. Second of all, the reason that unit, they don't carry that much hype of their own. There are people that like these, sure, but I can tell you most people don't really like Caulifla and Kale. I like Kefla. I don't like Caulifla and Kale. I don't like them. If I want something from them, I want Kefla, you know? And the thing is, I would have taken a standalone Kefla rather than this. But it was also not that crazy, to be honest. People weren't like, people were making fun of it, but it was not as crazy as now. You know, it was just like, I feel like it was a little bit expected after the 10th year anniversaries, and then you make these two the part 2 LRs. Especially also because people were expecting something Goku or Hit related. So there's just a multitude of reasons why this unit was hated. And in the end, people were not that crazy hateful about it because the unit was good and people were, the unit is good. I feel like it was just more so that people were making fun of it not being Kefla. Like at first, yeah, people were crying. I was crying, but hey. So I feel like, first of all, there are reasons that these units are hated, besides just not fusing, that people do not acknowledge because context does not exist in their realm. They have no sense of awareness. I don't know why. But I just don't like this arguing in a vacuum about stuff that has nuance to it, because there's a reason that these units are not that hype. Okay, people are not hype about it because, first of all, expectations, and second of all, execution. You know, if you set up low expectations and you do subpar execution, well, people are going to be fine with that. But if you set up astronomically high expectations and your and what you're presenting is even good, well, that's still disappointing people, because we were expecting super mega awesome instead of just good, you know. And the thing is, people are not hating on Goku Black and Zamasu being tag fuse units that don't fuse permanently. I mean, it's a little bit silly because in the show they are stayed fused together for eternity. Okay, they're fused together for the rest. Okay, so it's a little bit weird that they defuse, but even that I don't feel like gets nearly as much as complained, because people like Goku Black. And Goku Black Zamasu as a tag switching unit, even if they don't fuse, works really, really well. It's a concept that works well. And I feel like Goku and Vegeta being a tag switching unit that doesn't fuse also works really well. But the thing is, not in this context. Okay? If you give me like, let's say, a God Goku and God Vegeta tag switching unit that fuse, or not that fuse, that transform into their Super Saiyan Blue counterparts, each like they can transform, I feel like I wouldn't be mad. I would just not be mad. I would actually like that. Okay, and it's all about the context. And if they want to use this tag switching mechanic for units, or like for characters that don't fuse, well, then use characters that don't fuse. It's as easy as that. You've already done it. You can do it in the future. If you give me something like a Goku and Piccolo tag switching unit, sure, do that. Give me that. Hell yeah. But then don't use fucking characters that fuse. And the thing is, these characters are from the exact moments where they fuse. It's like, what are we doing? At least Khalifa and Kale, they're not like alluding to that in the card, in the unit. That's what makes it better. But yeah, it's just weird to me. And the thing is, this is a big celebration. Of course we want fusions. I think I have to make another video about this topic, because it pisses me off that people are like always, fusion's always taking the spotlight. Yeah, because that's the hypest thing in the show. When did we start hating on fusions, bro? As a kid, seeing seeing Gogeta and Vegeta on the screen, that was prime Dragon Ball, of course, and it still is. That's why they keep reusing it, because it's the hypest shit in the show. they use unhyped characters for other celebrations. Bro, we got the Tao, we got Tien now in the last month. It's not like they only do fusions. They only do fusions for hype celebrations, but it makes sense that you only use the hypest shit for the hypest celebrations. Like, what the fuck? So if you want to do shit like this, do it in a celebration that is not hype. If you want hype, then give us shit to be hyped about. Like this constant coping about non-hype stuff in Dokkan, where they give us less, okay? They just give us less. I don't understand why people cope for this. It's like, yeah, that might be a cool unit, but not for GDC, even, like, especially after they hyped it up for months and months and months. I want hype. I want something hype. I don't want something that's just good. You can give me something like this in a monthly DFE, or even like end of year, like or New Year's and stuff like that. You can give me shit like that the rest of the year, but not these 2 time slots. There's like a simple rule. Give me hype shit during anniversary, during GDC, and I am fine. But then don't expect but then don't allude to something that's way more hype than your unit, okay? And that is VB. VB is 10 times more hype than Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Vegeta in the future saga, and then expect us to not be disappointed when it's not going to be the case, as it's just an active skill, especially for a GDC. I think it's just silly. Okay, silly little boys. Yeah, silly little fellas. Anyway, I think that's it. That was my, like, I don't know, hot take about tag switching unit, and in general, like, the hype of Dokkan and why this is hated. I just genuinely don't understand why it's so hard to understand that the context is key in here. Okay, it's not because it's a useless tag Goku and Vegeta unit. It's because it's a useless tag and Vegeta unit from the future saga. They're Super Saiyan Blues, and we already got this exact unit 2 years ago, and it was the biggest fumble of all time. And it was alluded to that it's gonna be VB. And they were hyping GDC up like it's gonna be 10th anniversary 2.0. It's just not the same. Anyway, see you guys in the next video. Bye, like, subscribe.